Painting ocean waves in watercolor seems intimidating because you're painting around the white of the foam. So you end up doing a lot of negative painting. And I talk a bit about negative painting on my YouTube channel because in watercolor, it's just a handy skill to practice. And I do think it takes practice to get used to negative painting. So even if you understand how to do it, I think you just have to practice it in order to get used to it. And to me, I think painting waves is a great way to practice because they're waves. You know, who's going to know if you mess up your shape? So they're a very forgiving subject, way more forgiving than if you were trying to do this with a person or a building or something. That said, you may want to lightly draw in the shapes of your wave ahead of time. And I say lightly because once you paint over your pencil line, you can't erase it. And with waves, you want to maybe have some smooth transitions in the foam. And if you have a really stark pencil line underneath your very smoothly painted transition, it just won't look quite as cool. So I suggest if you're going to draw it in, just draw it in lightly. And ocean waves are actually a subject that I would recommend at least trying to freehand draw your waves in if you're going to draw them in ahead of time. I don't mind tracing with a lot of subjects, especially complicated things, buildings, people, really difficult subjects. But with waves, like I said, they're really forgiving, and I think your waves actually benefit from and are looser if you hand draw them, or I'm hand drawing with the brush. But even if you just hand draw them with pencil ahead of time, I think it'll just help you make them looser so you're not trying to copy your painting or your photo exactly. Aside from getting a stiffer looking set of waves if you're tracing a photo, one of the other problems with painting ocean waves while tracing a photo is there's a lot to ocean waves. There's a lot going on with waves crashing into each other, going in every which direction, and there's way more detail in a photo than I think actually looks good in a painting. So as a watercolor painter of waves, I think one of the most challenging things that I'm actually not very good at is editing down the detail so you're not painting every little thing you see in your reference photo. Editing is good. Sort of like when you go and see a movie, they always edit them down. There's an editor for a movie because you'll see they have the director's cuts that if you buy the movie you can watch, and they're way too long and boring. The director wants to put every last detail into the director's cut, and luckily they hire an editor to get rid of a lot of the detail. So since you don't have an editor for your painting, you got to be your own editor. And I'm a terrible editor. Actually, with this painting, you'll see at the end, I think I did add too many details, but it's always a goal to not do too many details. You want to give enough to give a good story. And one of the things that I try to do sometimes is I'll actually get rid of my reference photo after a while, so I'm not staring at it saying, oh, I got to paint this little detail here and I got to paint this detail there. You want to paint what is necessary and especially in your area of interest, but don't put too many details in there. I'll admit that lifting the low clouds, cruising in, going past some of the different hills and rocks and things is really fun. I really like doing this. It's a good use of lifting. So you can either use an old worn out brush for doing this, which is what I often do. I actually got some scrubber brushes, I think Scrubber is the brand name, that are a little bit more stiff than normal. And so that's what I'm trying out here. And I'm just wetting the paper and trying to add some clouds and just pick up the wet paint there. And it's really fun. Depending on which paper you're using, if you're using one of the cheaper papers, the stiffer brushes may be too harsh for your paper. So either be gentle, or you can use a softer brush as well. Just a worn out cheap brush they have laying around will work fine as well. I do like the square flat brushes. They seem to do well at lifting paint like this, but just try anything that's cheap and worn out, or try one of these scrubber brushes. Now, adding little dots to the crashing waves is quite possibly my favorite part of watercolor painting. I could do this all day long. Oh, and you'll notice when I'm adding white, I'm grinding my whites in with a little Dremel Micro. They're pretty awesome. So it's basically drilling a hole through the paint. So be careful with really thin 90-pound paper or whatever. You can do the same thing with white gouache paint or white watercolor paint. There's just something therapeutic about grinding the paper with this Dremel, though. So no need to rush out and buy a Dremel. They're like $50 or something like that. But if you had one laying around like I did, it is super fun to use. Seagulls are a staple of ocean paintings. So you do have to add your seagulls in there. But I'm actually an advocate of, when you're painting your little seagulls in there, don't just paint a little V. Try to give it a little pizzazz, Try to give them a beak or make it slightly more interesting. But, they're your seagulls, so you got to paint your seagulls how you want. But I like to try to give them a little tail there and maybe a little beak, a little dot there for some reason. I don't know. Razor blades are a really handy way to add highlights to a watercolor. And for some reason, I always got in the habit of just grabbing the random blades themselves laying around. I would probably suggest you grab one of the ones that has a handle on it. That would be maybe more comfortable, but this is just what I'm used to. They just scratch into the paper, and you can add some pretty cool highlights. So I'm just trying to give just a little hint that the sun is hitting the seagull right there, just to add some interest to my seagull, to the rock. By the way, you may have noticed that I didn't just paint my ocean scene all blue. I see a lot of painters that seem to think that the sky is blue, right? The ocean is blue. So they just paint their whole ocean scene blue. And you can do that if you want to play the blues. I'm not judging. I'm just suggesting that it's kind of entertaining to use color in an ocean scene like you would in any other painting. So I try to use color as a tool. I want to bring people to my center of interest. So this is mostly a warm painting. And I've got the cool colors in the curl of my wave, and I want people to look there. So I've added a bunch of warm colors around it to add contrast to get you to look there. I think watercolor allows you a certain amount of freedom with where you want to put your colors and what colors you want to put where. The main thing I try to think about is I try to decide ahead of time, is this a warm painting or is this a cool painting? And I typically aim for like 70% warm and 30% cool, or vice versa. All right, I need to add more dots. A few more. A few more up here.